Goodbye YouTube, how's it going everybody? Before I get into talking about the team preview, I want to give a quick little update. I will not be uploading tomorrow or Saturday. Tomorrow I won't be uploading because tomorrow, Friday, June 7th, is actually going to be my graduation. So yeah, I'm going to be focused on that and not really be thinking about Pokemon at all. Then Saturday I will be hanging out with my friends and I will be able to get a video up on Sunday or Monday. But yeah, I am graduating, which is kind of cool, although I'm not going to lie, I'm going to miss high school a little bit just because of being able to hang out with my friends in one area, as where now we are going to go to different colleges. Some are going to move and some are going to get jobs and all that stuff, but you guys don't care about my personal life, so I don't know why I brought that up. Anyways, team preview, yeah, I'd say Yu-Gi battle, alright. Looking at threats on my opponent's side of the field, Raikou and Kingdra, depending on what sets they are really going to be the main things I'm going to have to watch out for. But I thought my best lead going into this battle would be my Victini, because I can take a hit from anything that he wants to lead off with if it's faster than me, and I can just U-turn on out if I'm faster than whatever he leads off with. So as it leads off with the Kingdra, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's Specs, so I'm just going to switch right into my Umbreon. As it turns out that he is Specs, which means this Kingdra is now a major threat, because the only thing on my team that likes to take hits from Specs Kingdra is my Umbreon, and if he crits me, then, well, I'm screwed. So I take the hit with relative ease, and then I'm going to be able to go for the Wish as he ends up bringing in the Gligar, and then expecting him to more than likely just get up a Stealth Rocks and not go for a Toxic. I'm actually going to stay in and go for the Foul Play just to be able to get off a little bit of damage on the Gligar, but it turns out that he actually has a U-turn, which means he isn't carrying the Toxic, which is actually really good for me because now I'm not going to be forced to waste unnecessary heal bells. As I get my Wish Recovery, I get off a decent bit of damage on the Hitmontop, and at the amount of HP my Umbreon is at, I know I will be able to take a close combat, but I'm thinking that he's going to want to go for the Toxic, knowing that I can take a close combat. That way he can force me to heal bail and use that free turn to his advantage, which is why I bring in my Gligar, but he makes a very good double switch into his Kingdra, expecting me to bring in my Gligar because it was pretty damn obvious. So I'm going to switch right back out into my Umbreon, hoping he doesn't crit me. And thankfully he doesn't, because now at the amount of HP that I am at, obviously I will be able to take a -2 Specs Draco Meteor, so I can just stay in and go for the Wish as he brings back in the Gligar, which, because he has U-turn, I really have nothing to worry about from this Gligar, and I can just stay in and I can get off a decent bit of damage with the Foul Play. And that actually does not do as much as I hoped it would, because it did a pretty decent bit of damage to him on top, but it did like nothing to this Gligar. But it's whatever, because I believe I just go for the Wish again. That way I can pass it off to whatever I want to switch in on whatever he U-turns on out into, if you get what I'm trying to say. As he U-turns into the Umbreon, I'm thinking this is my perfect chance to bring in my Blastoise and Rapid Spin away his Stealth Rocks, but he sees this coming and he's going to make another good double switch back out into the Kingdra. And right now, I am not really playing well because it's kind of rinse and repeat at this point. I'm going to bring back in my Umbreon, hoping he doesn't crit me, and he actually misses the Draco Meteor, which is really great because now I can stay in, take this Draco Meteor, and go for the Foul Play and get off a decent bit of damage on the Kingdra. Then the following turn, because he is at -2, I can then take the Draco Meteor again, go for the Wish, protect, and go from there. So I do get off the Foul Play. As he goes for the Draco Meteor, he gets a crit. And yeah, this Kingdra and that Raikou have just become even bigger problems than they already were. So I bring in my Blastoise. I'm just going to go straight for the Rapid Spin. I really don't care if he wants to bring in the Raikou, because I still have my Shaman at full HP. I also have my Victini at full HP, which can take hits from Raikou, but on the fact that it's not Specs. And it turns out that he has leftovers, which automatically tells me that he's sub-combined, which makes this thing a giant-ass threat, because if it subs up and starts to combine, I could potentially be screwed. So as I bring in my Shaman, he does go for the safe Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to go for the Seed Flare, expecting him to bring in the Umbreon and hoping that maybe I can get the -2 in its special defense. Unfortunately though, I don't get it, and I could stay in and keep going for the Seed Flare, but I know eventually I will run out, and I want to conserve my Seed Flare, so I'm just going to make the safe switch into my Gligar as he ends up going for the Wish. And this turn, I kind of took about a minute or so thinking about what I should do, and in the end, I decided just to go for the U-turn, because he more than likely would try to pass up the Wish to the Kingdra, considering the fact that Kingdra is the #1 giant threat to my team. So as he does pass off the Wish to Kingdra, I can then U-turn on out into my Porygon Z, and barring the fact that his Kingdra isn't timid specs, which none of them are, I will be able to outspeed it and easily knock it out with the Tri-Attack, because at the amount of HP Umbreon was at, if he had switched it in, it would have been able to get 2-hit KO'd by this Tri-Attack. And I go for the Tri-Attack, and my Porygon Z is well trained, and I crit his Umbreon, a crit for a crit. So I do not at all feel bad about that. And as he brings in the Victini, I'm thinking, alright, he's going to go for the U-turn, predicting me to switch out into Blastoise or Gligar. But no, he pulls out the Focus Blast, which just mind-boggled me. And as I bring in my Victini, I'm thinking he's going to switch out this turn. But no, he predicts me to go for the U-turn and stays in. And I'm like, crap, if he Hidden Power Ices, I'm screwed. Luckily, though, he predicted me to bring in Blastoise and went for the Grass Knot. Then, this turn, expecting him to go for the Hidden Power Ice, I'm actually going to switch into my Victini. And he makes a good play by bringing in the Gligar, predicting that. And, yeah, I am getting smashed. What am I doing? I am really not in a good situation in this battle. And I have to U-turn now. As I U-turn now to my Blastoise, he gets up his Stealth Rocks, which I really don't care about because I can easily just Rapid Spin them away. Unfortunately, though, this now gives him a free switch into this giant-ass threat, which is Raikou, as I do go for the Rapid Spin. And I'm thinking that this turn, he might be predicting me to switch out into my Shaman, expecting him to go for the Thunderbolt. So I'm actually going to stay in and I'm going to go for the Scald, knowing that I should be able to break his Substitute. And if he does go for the Hidden Power Ice, I can maybe burn him. But no, he either predicted that or he just made the safe play, which is the Thunderbolt. Thankfully, though, I'm able to leave as I go for the Scald. I don't get a burn, which it's a little bit bothersome, but it really isn't too big of a deal because this turn I know he might go for another Thunderbolt, which my Victini can easily take. And then I can go for the V-Crate and force him to switch out. But Pokemon logic, 10% happens more than 30%. Now, if this Raikou gets up a free Substitute, I will potentially just get swept by it because he can easily Calm Mind up on my Shaman. So I'm going to stay in, hope I don't get paralyzed. As he goes for the Substitute, I don't get paralyzed, break the sub. Then the following turn, if he does take me out with a Thunderbolt, that's perfectly fine by me. But if he goes for another Substitute, I can't get paralyzed. And thankfully, much like my Porygon Z, my Victini is well trained and I don't get paralyzed. And after -2 special defense, I will be at a range, well, at -2 special defense, he can't take me out with Thunderbolt, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, he takes out my Victini, which really sucks, but it was really frustrating because that paralysis really just made my Victini useless, but I still do have a chance to actually win this battle. Unfortunately, though, it's going to come down to whether or not I win the speed tie between the Shaman and the Victini. So I bring in my Shaman. As I go for the Safe Earth Power, he actually switches into the Hitmontop, which helps me out because now, expecting him to go for the Sucker Punch, what I'm going to do is actually go for the Synthesis. That way I will be at full HP, and after the Sucker Punch damage and Life Orb Recoil, I will still be at a good amount of HP to the point where even if he brings in Raikou, it will not be able to knock me out, and Victini would have to win the Speed tie to knock me out. And he actually switches directly into Raikou. I'm not too sure why. I guess maybe thinking I would go for another Synthesis, but no, I just go straight for the Seed Flare and I get rid of one giant-ass threat. And here is the moment of truth, and yeah, I lose the speed tie, which means I basically lose the battle because my Blastoise and Gligar can't do anything to this Victini. Now, if I had won the speed tie, I would have been able to knock out the Victini with the Earth Power, knocked out Gligar with the Hidden Power Ice, then knocked out Hitmontop with the Seed Flare, and I would have been able to win the battle. But yeah, I just end up running because I don't want to drag this out longer than it has to be. In the end, I did get smashed, but I feel I put up a good fight, and I definitely hope you guys enjoyed the battle. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to see more content, and see you guys on Sunday or Monday when I upload again. So yeah, later everybody.